Hey team, Luigi here, weekly talk number 22. Today I'll be answering or try to answer a few questions from the past from a few students. They sent me this message long ago, and when I wasn't recording weekly talks or recording any video here for our channel. And also, coincidence or not, I had another request from another student this weekend asking me to talk about my thought process when it comes to self-protection, self-defense, and my survival capabilities. Let me say first that I will propose some hard questions for you guys to ask yourselves. And there's no right or wrong answer, I believe, to these questions. It's all about how you want to live your life and what is your lifestyle and how you want to see these things and if you want to engage in this type of thought process or not. And again, it's up to you. It's your life. However, whatever makes you happy. And let me start with this story. One time I was teaching a workshop. Many people heard this story before, and it was about self-defense, self-protection. I was talking a lot about mindset and being able to find your own capabilities to become as violent as needed to protect yourself and your loved ones. I got interrupted by this lady, that really nice lady, that she said that she would not be willing to become that violent. Otherwise, she will be as bad as the person trying to attack her. Meaning that, for what I could see, she was a very zen type of peaceful person, soft-spoken, very nice lady. But she thought that if she fought, if she used violence to stop a threat against her, she will become as bad as that person. So I respect that. Many people don't want to go that way, especially people that might have more, say, philosophical ideas as far as like what is violence or not. Well, I had to ask her another hard question. And the hard question was, do you have kids? Are you married? Do you have kids? And she said that she had 2 daughters. So I had to ask another hard question. And just like in violence, the spectrum of the hardness of the questions keep increasing. In violence, again, we can go from avoidance, averting a situation and retreating to having to engage in a non-lethal situation that can become lethal. So we have to think as violence as from 0 to 10, right? So the hard question is the same way. So my question was, the third hard question was, well, what if you get attacked and now you see your life fading away? How do you think you will feel seeing those criminals, those bad guys, bad people going out towards your daughter's bedroom, and you knowing that you're not going to be capable to protect themselves because you didn't protect yourself in first place? You didn't even try it. When I asked her that, she didn't have an answer. She became emotional, and you could tell that something shifted. And again, she's a mother. She should know better, let's say. However, she seemed to be a very kind, loving person. So maybe in all her, I don't know if it's that a word, naiveness, let's say, with her being so naive, she never even want to go there with her mind. And that's how many people have to shield themselves from trying to understand and research more about violence and what they are capable of doing. Now you would ask me, well, Luigi, what could she do? Granted that she was a very small woman. Well, she cannot just rely on her husband, because say that her husband got disabled, let's say. But there are many different ways to equalize, right, that force disparity between attackers and a smaller person. But anyway, first question is, the first hard question you have to ask yourself, are you willing to think about these things? What could happen? Are you willing to go over the scenarios in your mind, even though the probability of you being attacked in your own home or on the street could be very, very low? But you never know where you're going to be, with who you're going to be, and what scenario you might find yourself into by accident. So first question is that, are you willing to think about these things? So I have a friend, a family member, that told me, Luigi, I never want to think about these things. Honestly, I think it's very negative, very pessimist. I just want to be happy. I want my son to be super happy. I don't want to think about this. I'm going to just live my life day by day. And if it happens, it happens. That's his option. And he's happy with his decision, and that's fine. Now, my students ask me how I think. And like Kyle DeFore, one of my mentors, one of my firearms trainers say, and Bill Raper says the same way. Both guys, former Navy SEALs, as you guys know, and they train with really good guys, the SIAC tactical group, and they have their own training group. And a lot of these things that I'm saying, they are not coming from me. They are coming from the sources that I learned from, and especially Walt Lysak, my self-defense mentor. The first thing is, are you willing to die well? Meaning, like, are you willing to fight for your life if you need so? So if you think that die well is to surrender and just be, let whatever has to happen, if that your concept, that's fine. That's, like I said, there's no right or wrong question. When people ask me, I'm willing to fight and do everything I can to stay alive for my loved ones and to make sure that my loved ones are still alive in my life. So let's talk about the other questions you should maybe ask yourself, and the questions that I asked myself. I'm going to read here so I don't lose track. Number one is self-awareness. Are you aware of your real capabilities? So in my case, when I asked myself that, or Walt made me think about this, well, I know that I have really good grappling skills. I'm very confident about even my wrestling skills, my judo skills, my striking skills, my hand-to-hand combat. But in my head, I wasn't completely capable of protecting myself. And again, remember, self-defense starts with retreating. Self-defense starts with you not having to fight any fight. You staying alive by not fighting, by not engaging, by finding a way to avoid and avert that situation. I mentioned that in my previous video about that tragic thing that happened in Pennsylvania between those neighbors. So just go back there on my channel, you're going to see it. But what I realized, like, okay, I'm capable up to this level within the spectrum of violence. On a non-lethal situation where I cannot avoid, I cannot avert, I cannot get out of the way, but I can physically engage and stop a threat without further damage, let's say, if needed so. But again, my first option is always to get out of the way, retreat, avoid, avert, and etc. Number two, so number one, I realized like I needed to know more. So I decided to learn more about different tools for self-defense. Number two, self-honesty. Are you ready today? Have you been preparing? Are you honest with yourself as far as your cardio, strength, skills, variety in skills, like I mentioned before? So I know that I have many areas that I have to work more. And I've been working on those areas. And sometimes I don't want to train, but I feel like, well, I still need to do some grappling. I still need to roll in jiu-jitsu. Or maybe I'm going to jump in this Muay Thai class or hit the bag or just do some blade drills with my wife based on what I learned from my friends with our Tianza Kali guys. So I try to sharpen those skills, especially when I feel like I have to. It's part of my obligation. Based on my first question, I decided to think about this, real threats in life. Are you willing to change your lifestyle? Because you might have to stop going to these bad spots. You might have to not hang out with these wrong people. You might want to always lock your doors and always set your alarm, and you want to talk to your family about what would you guys do in your home, and in case somebody got in, broke into your house, what would you do from there? So those are lifestyle changes. Your responsibilities as a father, as a mother. So as a father, I feel like I have to be alive to keep providing to my daughters and my wife and my family. I have to make sure that they are alive because I love them very much and I don't want anything to happen to them. But what are your responsibilities as a law enforcement officer, as a military person, etc.? And there are more things that I would like to talk about, but I will skip. But so ask yourself these hard questions. And again, one more question would be, do you know how to apply first aid to yourself and to your loved ones until help arrives? Meaning, do you carry a tourniquet? Do you know how to use a tourniquet? Do you know, for instance, how to use your trauma kit. Do you have a trauma kit? Where do you have a trauma kit? Do you have a trauma kit in your car? Do you have a trauma kit in your house? Are you willing to have any type of extra precautions and tools around you in your house or in your business? Or forget about everything I said in this last 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And Luigi, my decision is something happens, I call 911 and wait for help. Your choice. You made your choice. That's fine. That's how you want to live. See, when you make that choice, you don't have to think about all that I said, and it's your life. And again, there's no right or wrong. If you think that police will get to your house in 5 minutes or less, and you'll be able to hold your ground there, not stand your ground, but say hold your position, protecting your loved ones until helps arrive without you being able to engage in any type of confrontation, that's fine. I mean, that's your option. Now, somebody gets hurt really bad. It could be at home because of an attacker or not. Are you able to apply first, say, CPR, first aid? You know how to apply a tourniquet. You know how to stop a bleeding. Do you have what you need to stop a bleeding from at home? Have you ever thought about these things? Have you ever done any course? Think about it. Some of you might say, well, I'm just going to call 911 and the ambulance in average gets here in 5 minutes. Okay, I mean, that's your option. That's your choice. But what I want in this video is just to propose you guys to think about these as an intro right now, all these issues, and make your own decisions. Again, my decision in my life was to become better and to become more complete and to become my first responder and my family first responder. Not saying that I'm not going to call 911, not that. First, I'm going to try to avoid, I'm going to try to retreat, I'm going to first try to get away. I will try to de-escalate if I find myself in a way that I cannot, just get away. Maybe I won't have time to de-escalate based on the different type of scenarios. But if something happened, which it could be just an accident, it could be a car accident where I see someone bleeding a lot, maybe I can apply a tourniquet because I always have a tourniquet with me. Or I can apply to myself if I need it, if I'm by myself and I see that I'm bleeding. But I decided to have these things well-trained and well-practiced and well-thought in my life. You make your decision. I'm here just to promote your... to promote this discussion. Send me your comments by private message or here on YouTube. Let's discuss. If you want to come here, not come here, on Zoom, we can discuss this online on Zoom between us. There are many other things that I would like to talk about it, and I'll go over in the next video. All right, have a great week. Don't forget to check in April. We're going to have a really, really good tactical trauma survival training with very experienced guys. The school doesn't make any money at all. We are only hosting this course because many people have asked. I will put the link here in the descriptions. See if you guys would like to engage on that. And if you guys would like to engage in more self-defense combatives training or not, or get more blade training or more firearms training, or just, you know what, let me ignore everything because I know the police are going to be here in less than 5 minutes. Decisions to make, and be happy with whatever you decide, or at least be responsible and accountable. Right, guys, have a great week. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of the day, and talk to you guys next week. Bye.